Yes, we know what 10 is going to do. The exceptional explosive ability that KC Concepcion has and was really forced into, action of being the guy last year. I mean, he was it. We've talked to multiple coaches and just saying, hey, at the bye week, we just flooded the game plan with 10. How can we get him the ball? This year, that's not going to be the case. They've got a ton of guys. Noah Rogers is going to be a superstar, a guy that went and started his career at Ohio State. Now he's back. Wesley Grimes yesterday in practice, guys. Shifty as all get out. Yeah, I can't wait to see them side by side. And then the big tight end, which you like a lot.
Yeah, Justin Jolie coming from UConn. I really like him, and I love his physicality. I love his speed combination. It's just he's a very prototypical, move tight end in the pros. But think about this, right? KC Concepcion moved almost every play last year, right? They always trying to hide him and move him. Now they can use Jolie as some of that move guy where you get Casey, you can hide him, you can move him in motion, you can do a bunch of different things. And the X factor of all of them is Robert and I.
Right.
I mean, when you talk about mad scientist offensive coordinators, look at what he did with Brennan Armstrong, who I think Grayson McCall has better physical talents than Brennan Armstrong. Look what he did with Garrett Schrader, right, at Syracuse. He took a guy that was a former wide receiver, turned him into a really good quarterback. And so what he's going to be able to do with all of these pieces, to me, that's the most exciting. And you're never going to have the same game plan week in and week out.
And on top of, hey, we should have a run game. That's been something that has been the Achilles heel of this team, taking that next step, in my opinion, because they haven't been able to do it. And they've had first-round draft picks at offensive line. They've had great running backs that are in the UFL, NFL, that just they haven't been able to take that next step. Jordan Waters does that. Having a potential first-round draft pick in Anthony Belton does that. But the biggest difference, as what you just said there in Coach Robert and I, life football offense is about mismatches, and they have all the pieces to do that.
Yeah, that's why there's so much enthusiasm about this team and what they can possibly pull off for the upcoming season. It is going to be great. See what the schedule is. There were notable games. You got a couple big ones early. Tennessee and Charlotte, the road trip down to Death Valley. We're going to know a lot about NC State early in the season. There's no question about that.
No question at all. I mean, you're talking about week 3, week 4. We're going to know exactly who this team is.
Yep, no question is right. By the way, speaking of road trips, we're having a good time here in Raleigh, North Carolina. But guess what? We got a bunch more coming up.
Keep it going.
We're heading back out to the left coast, Cal, tomorrow, and then it just keeps on rocking and rolling for the next couple of weeks. Again, it's August, boys and girls. Check the calendar. That means football is right around the corner. But before we kick things off in Dublin, we're going to take you all over the place. When we come back, Jordan Waters is going to join us. He comes from Duke to NC State to the set. Next, right here, Road Trip continues. NC State on the ACC Network.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? If you've ever experienced the warning signs of bad circulation, or you sit or stand every day for long periods of time, then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way. Stagnant blood circulates out of your legs and back up to your heart. Legzercise Pro moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. The perfect combination to naturally stimulate healthy circulation. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home. Soothe pain and calm restless legs. Reduce swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, and stimulate healthy circulation. Legzercise Pro is patented and designed in the United States to be easy, safe, and painless for anyone of any age with any health condition. Turn sitting, resting, and watching TV into an effective and healthy passive exercise.
My legs feel great now. I can move them around without pain at all.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Legzercise Pro gave me back the mobility that I had lost.
I'm so happy I got her Legzercise.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now and get upgraded to the Legzercise Pro Deluxe model. You'll get the faster motor that produces more than 2.5 kilometers worth of steps per hour, the step counter to keep track of what you've accomplished, the longer motion track for more overall leg movement, and the comfort remote control. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Hurry and call now.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're on top of the world. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We're on top of the world. If there's a chance for what you hope for and you dream for,
Yo, we here now, vision's clear now. Yo, it's my time, and it's near now. And I'm too strong, no fear now. You can feel it when the crowd starts to cheer now.
EJ, don't throw it too hard now. We on camera, man. Yeah, let's go.
Come on. I'm here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think I got this.
My beak got beak. It looked like an innocent thing. I'm calling my lawyer.
Time to pay off another
Come on.
Here they come. They're storming the field.
What did we just witness?
Threw it over the top. I was like, that's money.
Over the middle. It's caught.
I didn't want to go to overtime.
Week 1 of the college football season is upon us. How lucky are we in the ACC? We don't have to wait until Saturday because Carter Finley Stadium is ready to rock tonight as NC State hosts Western Carolina. Dave Dorn's Wolfpack is ready to go with pretty high expectations into the 2024 season. We're already in mid-season form here with the ACC Huddle. Wolfpack, who is in the house here, and you're probably wondering why we're inside. We'll get to that in a second. EJ Manuel, former Florida State quarterback, first-round draft pick. Clemson captain, offensive lineman Eric McLean. Former Virginia Tech, current Hall of Famer Eddie Royal, 9-year NFL vet. I'm Taylor Tannenbaum, and we are ready for a fun season with you. Now, the reason we're inside is because our credentials didn't cash. We got kicked off the field.
Access?
Yeah, they wouldn't let us in the field, so we had to be in the building. No, unfortunately, we are in a rain delay right now. We are set to kick here. We were at 7 o'clock. It has been moved to 7:32, so we will be with you until then, the rest of the way, as we get ready. Just some lightning in the area. No real rain. What are you counting down till kickoff?
Like we got a long show, don't we?
We got a long show. But that begs the question for you guys who all played this game, and you know the feeling of week 1 after you've hit your teammates for several weeks in fall camp. You're ready to go out there and hit somebody else. And now they hit you with a weather delay. What's going on right now downstairs in the NC State locker room?
Well, it throws off the routine because we're creatures of habit, former players. Because you get used to the warm-up, you get used to then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to eat that, I'm going to review my plays for a little bit longer. So it makes you a little bit more nervous. You're trying to stay loose. You want to review your plays. You're probably over-preparing now mentally. So for those guys, man, they're just anxious to get out there. And so to get going, I kind of feel bad for them at least. Yeah. And it's game 1.
Right. Yeah. Better this week than next week, though. When you look at opponent and things like that, Nation, this is where we lean on our coach, man. We got to have him to really tell us the game plan there. But you've got to find a way to keep everybody loose, to keep everybody kind of going. It's when you rely on your big strength coaches. Let's go back through it. Let's do everything over again. It's a little condensed now, but you got to get ready to go.
Well, usually this happens in training camp at some point. Now, I played
played before we had an indoor facility at Florida State. So they had that luxury to be able to go inside. But, again, if it happened in training camp, your body is already sweaty and you get cold. You sit down in the locker room, end up telling stories and jokes. So the big thing before an actual game is just to get locked back in mentally. I know as a quarterback, I start going through the script, talk to my receivers, hey, what do you have on this play? Talk to my offensive line. Just make sure everybody's mind is in it, because the last thing you want is to not be sluggish because of this weather delay.
Yeah, again, not a long delay. 7:32 is the new kickoff time, so we'll be with you until then, but just enough to kind of throw off your rhythm. But NC State, this school in general, the athletics program in general, has been on a roll. They've been in rhythm all of 2024. So we're going to show you all of it. How about gymnastics? The women took home the ACC championship in the sport's first season back in the conference since 1984. By the way, they also won it that year, too. So I guess you can consider it back-to-back. Men's basketball team, how about this? 5 games in 5 days. They won in D.C. in the ACC tournament to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament, and then they made it all the way to the Final Four under Kevin Keats. Women's team also found success in March and into April, reaching their first Final Four since that 97-98 season, losing to the eventual national champ South Carolina. Wes Moore had himself a season. And then maybe the craziest one of all, Abby Lampe. She's now the two-time world champion of the annual Cooper's Hill cheese rolling competition. What? This is a sport, you guys.
Is that like a stunt double thing or something?
No, that is
sport
legit.
Is a reach.
She rolls downhill. And how about baseball?
Be careful now.
Making it all the way to the College World Series in Omaha, 4-time in program history, and it was awesome. So now, hey, no pressure on the football team now.
You're up.
As they get ready to kick off this season. And there's Dave Dorn heading into his 12th season, 9-4 overall record. Last year, just shy of that double-digit win season. And that's something they're still very hungry about. And they got a new man under center, a guy named Grayson McCall. You may have heard of him before. Coming over from Coastal Carolina, a 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year, over 10,000 yards passing in his entire collegiate career. And this guy, ACC Rookie of the Year, Casey Concepcion, he terrorized defenses last year. He's coming back to do it again with the Wolfpack. So I mentioned the word expectations quite a bit because there are expectations in this building, externally, nationally, when it comes to the Wolfpack this season. So if I ask the question from you, what are your expectations for the Pack this season? They are what, EJ?
Well, when you make investments in the transfer portal like they did, you have to take that next step. It's, to me, an all-or-nothing type of situation, especially with the age that you have on this team. A lot of seniors, a lot of guys like Grayson McCall, who's played a lot of college football. So there's no excuse now. And not that they've ever made excuses, but I think that Coach Dorn saw an opportunity and said, hey, look, I have some pieces coming back. If we can add and fill some voids and some spots and add some hot octane to this offense, because that's all they need. They've always had defense. The defense always keeps them in the game. Mm-hmm. They have an offense that can go out there and be a lead of this team. That's when NC State can take that next step and get to Charlotte.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that, and it's almost a situation where all the stars are aligning. It's that, planetary lineup where, okay, this is the time because we have all this talent coming in. We have a quarterback that we feel so good about. We got receivers to now complement Casey Concepcion. Oh, by the way, the schedule, we love it. Let's take advantage of that, and how are they able to do that is going to be fascinating to see. I don't think I'm quite ready to say championship or bust because I think there's a lot out there for this team and a lot of things that they can accomplish. But in here, when you look at it, obviously Tennessee and Clemson early. After that, let's run the table, and you finish at Georgia Tech, at North Carolina, which we know is always difficult. But that's the goal. And I would say at a minimum, Eddie, 10 wins is the basement of what this team is hoping to acquire. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they finished the season hot, won 5 of the last 6. You're coming in with confidence already, and then you add those pieces as well. This is pretty much a warm-up game before you get going. That Tennessee game is going to be a huge one, and then you got another week until Clemson. So 2 of your tough challenges within the first 4 weeks. Get by those and maybe take one of those, win one of those games, and then you're in a great position. But you're right. I mean, this team doesn't have many excuses anymore. Yeah. The quarterback position is solidified with a guy who's proven at the college level. You add it to the running back. The offensive line is stable, so it's go time for the Wolfpack.
All right, so the offensive coordinator here is Robert Anae, and you guys keep talking about weapons, and we'll get deeper and deeper into that as we get closer to kickoff now under 40 minutes. But there he is. He's a pretty happy man right now, probably, with the amount of weapons they added through the portal.
Yeah, and he should be, because it's not even just the talent, it's also the experience. Yeah. And play callers want guys who know what they're doing. Like, when you call a play, you want to be able to trust this and that is going to get done. And when you have players that have played a lot of college football, that's to be expected. But I also want to see how does he expand on this offense, too, in year 2. You got a lot of offensive linemen that have returned. And I feel like he's always had an explosive offense, and now you have the pieces to really run that kind of offense.
Yeah, I remember talking to Robert and I last year when we would have meetings before the games that we had on the ACC Network Prime broadcast, and he would say, look, we've invited wide receivers to the party. We're just waiting for some to show up outside of KC, and now it doesn't feel like they're going to have that problem. And a big reason for that is because the guy who's going to be throwing them the football in one, Grayson McCall, as I mentioned, 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year, has a ton of experience collegiately. Last year, his season cut a little bit short as he dealt with injury, but still a successful season nonetheless. He is healthy, and he has all those weapons at his disposal. And Coach Robert and I did say of all the first-year quarterbacks that he's had to coach when he's gotten them for their first year, he's been the best in terms of what's between the ears, picking up what he has in store for him in that playbook. So excited to